Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the. Okay, now let's see. In today's session, we will cover Dr. Samuel Johnson. Okay, we have already covered some important writers from Unit 2, Unit 1, as well as Unit 3. Now, in today's session, we are going to see Dr. Samuel Johnson. He was born when he was born 1709 and he was died in 1784. He is a poet, essayist, moralistic, literary critic, biographer, editor, and the lexicographer. Okay, अर्लियर वर्क्स की बात करते हैं तो वी हैव लाइफ ऑफ मिस्टर रिचर्ड सैवेज, द पोएम लंदन, द वैनिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन विशेस and the play irony. It is the only play of him that is irony. Okay, Johnson dictionary was published in when? You have to tell me in the comment section when it is published. Okay, now let's move further. We have Dr. Johnson wrote only one play. I have already told you this thing. He is only wrote one play and only one novel. One novel and one play. The play name is Irene and the novel is The Rasilas. Okay, this is the very important point. Okay, towards the end of his life, जब इनकी मृत्यु होने वाली थी, बहुत हार्ड वर्क के बाद ही प्रोड्यूस द मैसिव एंड इन्फ्लुएंशियल लाइफ ऑफ द मोस्ट इमिनेंट इंग्लिश पोएट विच इज़ एन collection of biographies and evolution of 17th and 18th century poets. Okay, very important. Okay, now ठीक है, और after the death he was buried at Westminster Abbey. Okay, and there is so much, we will see all this thing at the last. Just let's see some major important work, means just let some major important poets that is mentioned in the lives of the most eminent English poet, or the lives of the English poets. So how many total, how many numbers of the poets are there? There are total 52 poets. ठीक है, most of किस समय रहे हैं? 18th century and approximately date of the date. Okay, 18th century 17th century के most of the writers रहे हैं, और 52 में से 6 सबसे ज़्यादा important writers हैं. Who were they? Number 1 Milton, number 2 Dryden, number 3 Pope, and number 4 Edison, number 5 Swift, and number C Gray. अगर आप ये 6 पढ़ लेते हैं तो आपका काम हो जाता है. Okay, yes, if you are preparing these writers, that's sufficient. And we have already covered, in our syllabus we have Milton, as well as we have Dryden, also we have Pope, as well as we have Edison, as well as we have Jonathan Swift, as well as Thomas Gray. थोड़ा सा देखना पड़ेगा थॉमस ग्रे के बारे में, बस बाकी तो हमारे सिलेबस ही में मेंशन है. सो जस्ट इट्स नॉट सो मच टफ, इट्स रियली वेरी इजी. सो और ठीक है, let's talk about some more information about the life of the, it is when it is written, it is from the time period of 1779 to 1781. How many years are there? Approx 11 years. Okay, 11 साल बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. Okay, और फाइनली इन 1774, अब देखिए सबसे पहले देखते हैं कि ये शुरुआत तो अपन को पता है कि 1779 थी, बट इन 1744 जब ये अपनी राइटिंग का करियर शुरुआत करते हैं, देन ही फर्स्ट रोट सीरीज लाइफ, द लाइफ ऑफ मिस्टर रिचर्ड सैवेज, in honor of his friend. Richard Savage was this friend. He is also from the group that is called as Johnson Circle, और ये 4 वॉल्यूम में लिखे हैं. मिल्टन was the oldest among the 52. I have already told you. So from here we have some more information about the Johnson Circle. देखिए, he we know the friend name. Okay, now we have Johnson Circle, that is literary club, that includes, these are the writers, which is really very important. So first of all we have Joshua Reynolds, then we have Edmund Brooke, then Goldsmith, Garlick, Gibbon, and Boswell. These are the very important writers from the Johnson Circles. Please note it down. And सबसे पहले यहाँ पे देखते हैं जॉनसन टोल्ड अबाउट पोप. पोप के बारे में कहते हैं, इफ पोप इज नॉट अ पोएट देन हु फाउंड पोएट्री. ओके, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट. इट कैन बी आस्क्ड यू इन योर एग्जामिनेशन. this code will be there, this code will be mentioned there, then and they will ask you who told this line for whom, then the answer is Johnson for Pope. Okay, Johnson literary, especially his Lives of the Eminent Poet 52, Milton was the Milton सबसे oldest है and 3 parts में थे. Okay, he is marked by the various opinions on what would be make poetic excellent. Okay, I hope I am able to clear. Just before going it, we can have some major works of Johnson, essays, pamphlets and periodicals. हम देख लेते हैं थोड़ा सा, ठीक है. तो देखते हैं सबसे पहले. तो एक हमारे पास वर्क है, व्हाट इज रैम्बर, इट्स अ periodicals. ओके, ट्यूसडे और सैटरडे को आता था. टोटल 208 आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश किए गए. ओके, एंड द टाइम पीरियड इज 715 to 1752. ओके, ट्यूसडे और सैटरडे को आता था, 2 साल का टाइम पीरियड था. टोटल 208 आर्टिकल्स. ओके, 56 द लिटरेरी मैगजीन, और इसका नाम है द यूनिवर्सल रिव्यू. इट इज़ ऑल्सो a kind of pamphlet you can say, or a magazine. It's not a pamphlet, it's a magazine. And in 1758 to 1760 the Adler, it is also the periodicals which is weekly, एक week में एक बार आता था. Then we have 1775 a journey to the western island of Scotland, it is an essay. And 1781 the beauties of the Johnson. And 1752 1750 the adventure newspaper, it's a newspaper भी वीकली, मतलब एक वीक में 2 बार. Okay, these are the most important. If you are someone who is preparing for NET as well, as this information is really very helpful for you. Okay, now we have an important quotes from him. A book should help us either to enjoy life or to endure it. Very important quote from him. Okay, please note it down. And nothing ads will do long. This tram sadly did not last. This is really very happy, and this is really very much difficult to understand, but you can try by yourself. Okay, I have already told you he is written only one novel, that is the History of Rasila, Prince of Absania. It is the full title. Okay, you have to tell me in the comment section what is the publication date of this work. Okay, now we have Lives of the Most Eminent Poet. I have already covered you all these points. Now let's see the first poet who is depicted is now let's talk about कि एग्जाम में क्वेश्चंस कहाँ से बन सकता है. ओके, सो सबसे पहले क्वेश्चंस कहाँ से बन सकता है. क्वेश्चन बन सकता है, द फर्स्ट पोएट हु इज डिपिक्टेड इज अब्राहम कॉली and the last poet Christopher Pitt. So this information is really very important कि आपको पहला राइटर और लास्ट राइटर बताना है. और जब ये इन द लाइफ ऑफ कॉली इसके बारे में बता रहे हैं, जॉनसन यूजेस मेटाफिजिकल स्कूल ऑफ पोइट्री फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. और जो फर्स्ट टाइम मेटाफिजिकल स्कूल ऑफ पोइट्री की बात की है, ये डॉक्टर सैमुअल जॉनसन ने कही है. So who have coined this term metaphysical school of poetry? The right answer is Dr. Samuel Johnson. This is the questions which is asked in NET, SET and so many examination. Who has coined the term metaphysical school of poetry? The right answer is Dr. Samuel Johnson. Okay, अब देखो जो 52 राइटर्स थे, 6 पोएट हैव बीन क्लासिफाइड एंड एडिटेड सेपरेटली बाय मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड. अब इसमें से 6 अलग जो मैंने आपको बताया ना, जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थे, उनको एडिट किया है. मिल्टन, ड्राइडन, पोप, एडिसन, स्विफ्ट, थॉमस ग्रे, ये सबको कौन ने काम किया है? मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड ने इसके ऊपर काम किया है, एडिट किया है. ओके, डेट्स ऑल. अब हम जो भी छूटा है वो कवर कर लेते हैं, ठीक है. We have covered everything in detail. Okay, we have covered everything. We can proceed further to the question and answers. Okay, So we have first question here. What was the primary purpose of the Johnson life of the English poet? What was the primary purpose? To provide critical and biographical accounts of English poet, to create a collection of English poetry, to teach aspiring poet how to write poetry, to criticize modern poetry and praise classical works. The right answer is to provide critical and biographical accounts of English poet. Okay. Which poet's life does Johnson discuss most critically in the terms of personal character and morality? Obviously, his friend. And what was the name of his friend? Richard Savage. Okay, now let's see our next question. Which poetic era does lives of the English poet primarily focus on? Which poetic era? I have already told you. 17th to 18th century. Okay, now let's see our next question. How does Johnson generally view metaphysical poetry, particularly the works of John Donne? And the correct answer is he criticizes. He criticizes it for the excessive wit and complicity. Which poet does Johnson admire for his clear style and the moral purpose? The correct answer is John Dryden. Okay, and that's all for today. If you want this PDF, you can contact me on this number. Okay, I will provide you all the details. You can join my Telegram and WhatsApp group. I hope you have liked this video. This is very short video, and within 15 minutes you will able to grasp all the knowledge about this life of the poet. What are the important points that should be remembered for from point of view of your examination? Okay, so in English literature sometimes we have so short videos, as well as sometimes it's really very long, about more than 1 hour. So it's depend upon the writers and their works and the important thing we can have. So in the lives of the English poets, you can have more details. You can Google it, and if you have suffering from any problem, or you are not able to, and you want me some more videos on a particular writer from the mentioned 52 writers, you can comment me down and I will make a video on it. Okay, so no worries. Okay, so that's all for this class. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.